Mental Mondays ignite the spark. Hope guides each step, even in the dark. New week, new dreams to see. Hope's the key to what's meant to be.
Hey, welcome to Mental Health Mondays with Hope. I am Hope. I hope you are enjoying this amazing weather that we're having today. I hope you're having amazing weather where you are. Just before I pulled in, it said it was 66 degrees. Very nice for March 9th. So it's great to have you all here. We've got some feedback. Can we turn that one off? Hold on, please. I like to whisper.
All right. It's disconnected.
Can I just turn it off?
Oh, technical difficulties.
I'm trying to turn it off. Obsessed.
Something.
Ba-choom. It's off.
It's off. Yeah, cut it back on now.
Boop. Boop.
This is crazy. All right. I'm gonna leave this stage over. Say something in there.
Testing 1, 2. No feedback.
Disconnected. Ask her, can you hear her?
Melissa, can you hear us?
Okay, now ask her.
Hey, can you hear us?
I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did we get the feedback fixed?
I think so.
Gotta love technology.
Right. So Melissa Moore and I just did a conference together, a summit, the Lady Boss Summit. And one of the speakers, when we were talking about life, the universe, and everything, one of the speakers said, shit happens. So that's where we're at right now with the start of this podcast is that, shit happened and we had a slow start because of technology. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So Melissa is the president of MOHR Coaching and Development. And you are a consultant and a life strategist. So tell us a little bit about Melissa before we go into all of that.
I like to say that I take small businesses, nonprofits, and people from chaos to clarity and give them actionable steps so they can move forward. That's where all the strategy comes forward. It's always helpful to have that outside party looking in to help you clarify things and maybe see things a little differently, try some different steps. And I love helping people go, oh, yeah, that's good.
Right. I didn't think of that. Yes. I love that too. Like getting an outside perspective of things. That's why I feel that when you're working in a group,
Yes.
It's so much better to have different ideas and different ideals and different walks of life and what have you working together because everyone has a different vantage point.
Absolutely. In my family, we live by the adage, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to talk today about when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, but how do we get there?
Right.
So we're gonna be talking about the 3 R's, correct?
Yes.
Which are rediscover, yes,
Reinvent.
reinvent, and reignite.
You got it.
All right. So life gives you lemons and you want to make lemonade out of it because that's what we do. Forward is a motion, like forward motion. Forward is a motion.
It is. Yeah.
And you can be taking little teeny tiny inch baby steps, or you could be taking big steps, or you could be going backwards a couple steps and then coming forward. So how do we make lemonade out of lemons? By rediscovering, reinventing, and reigniting ourselves.
Right. I mean, I like to say when life blows up in your face and it feels like the old dodgeball to the face in 6th grade gym class. Because
Oh yeah.
I was never a great athlete, so I was pummeled,
I was the pummeler.
Oh, yes. And I was the pummelee.
Sorry.
That's all right. You know what? Good groovy character. I'm all right.
There you
But,
go.
when life blows you up, a lot of times in the beginning, for sure, you feel like you're so stuck in the mud. You feel almost paralyzed. And I like to say, even when you don't feel like you're moving forward, the fact that you're thinking about it, that you're actually having that moment of, I want to move forward, you're actually making progress. It doesn't look like it,
Right.
it doesn't feel like it, but you are. And from there, we have some very simple steps that can help you to get to where you want to be. And I like
Right.
to say, like you literally cannot fail if you just keep going.
Right. And I'm sure you are aware that part of my goal for this year with Mental Health Mondays is to have at least one program per month that talks about moving forward, goal setting, achieving your goals, reinventing, reigniting, rediscovering, like we're talking about today. So that way, the people who were on board with us in December when we started to make this goal for 2026, they're getting tidbits throughout the year.
Right.
And, one of the things with goals, I mean, we are Mental Health Mondays, but one of the things with setting goals and achieving goals has a lot to do with your perspective and how you're feeling about yourself, how you're feeling about the situation, what state you're in, and I don't mean geographical state. What is your why? And, having a why is very important. I feel that's very important. And I think, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. A lot of times when we do set goals, we don't necessarily have a why. It's like, ooh, I want to do this. This is cool. But what's the why? Is it just because I want to make money? Is it because, this is a type of thing that I enjoy doing and I want to retire doing this. So having a why is important. Correct?
It is. It's so important. And I think the other thing that is important when we're talking about goals and, reinventing, rediscovering, reigniting, all of these types of things is to understand when life blows up or when shit happens, we may not know where we're going. Right? So it's okay to set that goal. And if life changes, and if your train goes off the track for a second, it's okay. We can rebuild from there. We can just keep getting back on that track. And sometimes it's pretty hard, but sometimes just those little micro actions of trying to redirect yourself back, like, oh my gosh, for those of us that were smokers, right? Years ago, I was a smoker. I was young and invincible. Quitting was really, really hard.
Right.
Sometimes you keep trying and you keep trying. It's like that with goals. That was a goal of mine. And eventually I did it. But it
Congrats.
don't always go the way that we plan.
Right, right. And that's the like the redirection part. You know, sometimes you might have had that goal to quit smoking, let's say, because there are so many people that can quit cold turkey, and I give
God
them
bless them.
credit, you know, but you might have to redirect. Like if you said, I'm just going to quit, you know, and it didn't work. So like, okay, well, you know, maybe I need a patch, maybe I need the gum, maybe I need, you know, some type of a medication, you know, the goal, you know, the outcome that you would like to have is still there, but you might have to just change directions, redirect yourself on how you're going to get there.
And forgiving yourself for, you know, making those little missteps along the way, because we tend to expect perfection from ourselves. However, from our friends, our family, those that we're supporting, we're like, oh no, it's okay.
Right.
Human. And ourselves, we expect ourselves to be superhuman for some reason. And,
Right.
you know, learning to treat ourselves, talk to ourselves like we are our own best friend, because we
Absolutely.
literally are our own best friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I think, you know, our why needs to put us first.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to quit smoking so I can be healthier. You know, I like, you know, seeing my grandchildren grow up or what have you, you know,
Yes.
so I'm going to quit smoking for me, for my health, so that way I can be here and to enjoy my grandkids. I'm not like huffing and puffing, you know, trying to run around the yard and play with them
Or
or what
having
have
to
you.
leave somewhere to go have a cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah. That too. That too.
That can be cumbersome. You know, and that's why, you know, with rediscover, reinvent, and reignite, to me, like rediscovering, I always like to keep things very, very simple. And I always say, and I have a cup of coffee right here, and just holding that cup of coffee and the tactile sensations of the warm mug in your hand and smelling it, all that aromatherapy. If coffee's not your thing, tea, whatever is your thing. But for me, it's those quiet moments to, if we're talking about the quitting smoking, who was I before I smoked? Because we didn't start out smoking. I was somebody, you know, before this misadventure or disaster or shit that happened. Who was I? Right? And now that this label is placed on me, then you got to rediscover, you know, who am I now? You know,
Right.
reinvent myself. I spoke Friday about my cancer journey, and once I got that label placed on me, I'm a cancer patient. Who is that? That is not me. That is somebody I read about or speak to with empathy. That is not me. And I realized I had to reinvent who I was as a cancer patient. And there was several iterations. I don't know if you remember when I went through the talk, you know, like when I first got the diagnosis, I was like, I'm going to be that girl. I'm going to be that girl and just have that positive attitude. And I was all about that energy. And yeah, you know what? You don't know what the journey's going to bring.
Right.
And so being that girl was not as easy as I thought. And I couldn't really will it to happen as much as I wanted to will being that girl. And so one of the things that I said is, you know, I am no longer that girl. I am the woman I became.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it became much deeper, much more depth than I ever really realized, because the journey was more than I realized. And so there were several iterations, and it's okay. That's the falling off the tracks. That's the changing directions. That's the forgiving yourself for, I'm not going to be this perfect cheerleader through this crazy journey that I never wanted
Right.
to begin with.
Right. Right. Are you frozen? I think, oh, you're freezing on my
I
end.
see you.
Okay.
Oh, oh no,
Yeah, you did.
I'm
freeze
fine
for a
here. I
second.
can see you.
All right, you froze for a second. I think, when we talk about reinventing, and you talked about, you wanted to be that girl, that
Yeah.
person, and you found that you couldn't, or you couldn't always, or what have you. I think sometimes I've seen with people, they get so stuck in their belief system
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
when things happen that go beyond that, they don't allow themselves to reinvent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you could have been that girl in public, and put up that front or what have you, and in private you would have been absolutely miserable. But you were able to accept and say, you know what, I wanted to be that girl, but you know what, there are some days that doing these treatments, I am not that girl. I don't even feel human.
Right. It is
know
an evolution, and it is odd to say the least, because these are things you never really expected or wanted.
right, right. Right. I think a lot of it, when we're reinventing or rediscovering, is we have to accept ourselves.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, that's the thing right there. If we have to accept that things change always. Always. I use this example a lot, and I think it was the movie Bug's Life. I think it was that one, where all the ants are marching, and they're doing their job, and they're all marching in a straight line, and they have this absolute path that they always take. And as you're watching, you see this leaf come floating down and land right on the path.
Yeah.
And the ant doesn't know what to do, because that is the path they take. They cannot deviate from the path. What do we do? What do we do? And I saw that with younger people a lot when I was coaching. I mean, maybe I think it started, maybe 10-ish years ago, where like kids that I was coaching, middle school age kids, they felt like they had this path that they were going to take for life. And if something changed, they did not know how to redirect themselves. And in the movie A Bug's Life, what happens is, like, the sergeant ant or whatever, gets in front of the worker ant, and he's making like eye contact with him. He's like, okay, you can do it. Step to the left, step to the left, step to the left, and then all the other ants, because he's the leader, all the other ants then follow him. And that, to me, when you say like redirect and reinvent, I think of that movie a lot, because that was such a great life lesson, that sometimes we get stuck on that path and we don't know how to change it, or we don't accept that it's changing.
Right. And with that, piggybacking off of that thought, is it's okay to grieve what once was, who we once were. So, and
Right.
that's one of the things we talk about a lot in survivorship circles, because you are not the same person you were before life handed you this diagnosis.
Right.
I am not that person. And so I miss that person. And we don't talk about that enough. We do not talk about that enough. It is okay to miss the person that you used to be, the person that you thought you were going to be, and the person that you wanted to be. Now you're this other person. So whatever that, tragedy or upset or upheaval happened to be, sometimes it's a death, sometimes it's a job loss, sometimes it's a health diagnosis, or a substance diagnosis, or mental health diagnosis. It's okay to grieve what you thought was going to be and who you used to be before life blew up.
Right. But even relationships, marriages that end, relationships that end, it is perfectly fine and should be normalized to grieve that.
Absolutely.
No matter what it was, maybe it wasn't the best relationship, but you got into a pattern, you got into a cycle or whatever it was, that person was there by your side, whether it was rocky or not. And now that's changed. And that's a loss.
It's when we
And
think about moving forward, we get in those ruts. If the wagon keeps going on the same path over and over again, you form a deep rut in the road, and it's very hard to move out of that rut.
right.
So,
Right. And that's why I feel that grieving the loss of who you were previously, the loss of the relationship, is really important, because then once you grieve that, then you can start to move on.
it's absolutely valid to grieve that. And yes, we should normalize it. I don't think we normalize that. And it's important, because we're not going to move on without letting go of that.
Right.
And then once we're able to get to those points, we can find opportunity to reignite that spark within us.
Right.
And that
Absolutely.
is so important. Again, I'm going to go back to my health journey, and there were moments where it was utterly exhausting. I had no idea what these treatments were going to take out of me. And there's a slippery slope there. You could easily slide right down that slope into despair.
Right.
I was determined to fight that. And not that you don't have moments. You do.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. But I was able to fight that using reigniting my joy, and reigniting joy gives you all those feel good chemicals, and that reignites your energy.
Right. Right. So when we're talking about reigniting, no matter what it is, that we're talking, whether it's something with business, relationship, your own personal life, like, is there one universal approach to reignite? Or is it really like it's more dependent on the person and the situation?
I mean, honestly, it's the old saying, find your joy, right? But for everybody, that looks differently. And it could look different today and tomorrow. So today I may want to sing a girl anthem, and tomorrow I might want to dance or go for a walk or play with the dog in the yard. But doing something big or small every single day that you really, really love. And if you're in the middle of like a really serious health crisis, or a crisis where when I was at my hardest moments, I really couldn't do much of anything. I was so exhausted. Then it was a matter of focusing and just sitting there and thinking about how much I loved my grandchildren, or volunteering, and all of those things, and remembering the fun times. And I always say volunteering is the hardest thing you'll ever do, but the most fun you'll ever have.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So all of those times standing in a field parking cars for a carnival is not literally fun, but boy, do you laugh like heck going through those moments, and you look back and they're the best times ever.
Right.
So thinking of those times and looking forward to re-engaging with those things that you love, even if you're just so down that you can't, will at least begin to bubble up some of that joy. And when I work with people, I have them literally close their eyes, and you were there, right? And did you do that?
I did it. I did. Yes.
And did you feel that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was great. It was great.
Yeah. It's just.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, we can do
it.
So
we do have people watching. So we are live, and we do have people watching us live. But I will send you the link when we're finished today, because this will remain on YouTube, so people can watch it and they can do this exercise, for themselves. So let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to think very hard and focus on something that we love. And not something that we just regular love, something that we really, really love a lot, something that lights you up. And just take a minute and feel how that lights you up. And you'll start to notice that you get joy and happiness. And as the joy and the happiness begins to show up and creep up, you're going to feel your energy rise up with that.
Right.
Because what you're doing is giving yourself a little bit of a chemical bath. All those wonderful feel-good chemicals, you are producing them intentionally. You're not just waiting for that moment when you laugh your head off. You're producing them by focusing very hard on the things that you really love. And it's just a great exercise, and it's simple. And listen, for me, I love to dance and sing in the kitchen, but there's times when you're not able to, if you're very sick, very sick.
Okay, so I don't know. Somebody's comment says rainbows, unicorns, drag, and methamphetamine. So I don't know who that person is, but I hope it's not methamphetamine.
I hope it's not. That's definitely a dangerous subject there. Dangerous drug.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But so when when we were just doing that exercise, I'm sorry, and that person, if the drug part, yes, there we go. Thank you. Is like a happy place. That's a different conversation that we can have. But if that is an issue, because I have a sister who is a recovering meth addict. She's clean now for 3 years. And I know it is not an easy task. She was my very first podcast here with Mental Health Mondays, and she just celebrated her 3rd year of being clean. So I know the road, and I know the road that this person that you could be on with that, and please consider yourself and your longevity first.
Absolutely. And the reality is there's no shame, right?
No.
It could impact anybody. And there's such a stigma of shame when it comes to mental health or substance abuse or any of these things. And there is no shame because it sneaks up on you. It's not like anybody says, I volunteer to go down this path.
There we go.
Oh, my
feel-good moment is when I can do one random act of kindness a day.
Oh, I love that, Angel. I love that. I carry a coin in my purse, in my wallet, that it says, do a good turn daily, and the center of it turns. I got it when I worked for Scouts, and I literally do a good turn daily every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just me on the screen, Kendall, just so you know. We can't see Melissa right now.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I totally hear you. Hey, there you are.
Look at that.
Yeah. She's like, it's okay if you can't see me. It's all good. You look beautiful, by the way.
We just go with it.
I know, right? I know. So the joy moment, when you said that, like, how much I love basketball.
Yes.
And so that was, as you're saying that, I went to basketball. And then not only did I go to basketball, but I went to my 50th birthday party, was basketball all day long. And I had, players that I had coached from like every generation of teams that I coached. And some of them had their kids there. My granddaughter was there. I think that this is more spam. We're not gonna engage with this person, Kendall. So let's please not. If you have serious, a mental health serious question, then you can message us, private message us. But our topic today is not that. So we're gonna keep going, with what we're talking about right now. But Sorry. So then so I escalated to my birthday party. And then, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you thought like, well, you had your eyes closed too. So if the viewers saw like I would smile, it's because I was remembering, I was remembering more of a moment. And after, when you started talking, we started talking again, I felt lighter.
It's true. It is true. And you can't fake it. That's the reality. You cannot fake that. So if you're just closing your eyes and pretending to focus, it doesn't work.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
but sometimes, listen, I am one of the most hard people to teach meditation to, right? And I've been working for years on that. I have a great yoga and meditation teacher and whatnot. And when I first started trying to learn yoga and meditation and mindfulness techniques, I would lay on the floor in Savasana and count the ceiling tiles. It was awful. My brain is very hard to quiet down. That is just who I am. And so it's taken me a long time to learn how to truly focus deeply on something. And so it's a practice. It's not something like you're going to close your eyes right this second and suddenly be the best person at just invoking joy. Some of us are better at it than others. So I always encourage people, don't give up. Keep trying. And if it's something as simple as, oh my God, last week my husband made me the best steak I've ever eaten, go with it. It does
Right.
not have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be anything small. Whatever comes to your mind, that, like you said, basketball. And for me, like I was reliving that moment at the conference on Friday when we had a room of like 150 women all doing this exercise. And I just felt so grateful and so joyful to be there and be able to share this technique with them. So that was where
Right.
my joy was.
Right, right. So just do a quick bullet point list, like bullet point for people if they want to do this. So close
Yes.
your eyes. So go ahead and just give a quick bullet point and talk us through how to do it on our own if we forget.
To reignite is literally taking a moment, closing your eyes, and focusing on something that brings you joy. And it could be as simple as, a great moment over today. And now you disappeared. If you,
That's okay. I'm still here. We're
if
focusing on you right now.
there you go. It could be as simple as a great moment you had this week. If you had a work win or whatever brought you joy. Like I said before, if your husband made you the best steak ever the other day, go with it. It could be your
Right.
family. Sometimes family's not the first thing that comes up because they can be challenging. So don't feel
Sure.
guilty if it's not
Right.
your family. Don't feel bad if it's not your friends or your kids, because sometimes those are challenging things, right?
Sure.
And give yourself a minute to breathe into that and start to feel the joy. Focus on that feeling of joy and focus on the energy that you feel that's piggybacking right on the joy, because that's all you're intentionally giving yourself, all of those happy chemicals that God gave us in our brain.
Right.
Just invoking them yourself. And it's a wonderful practice to have.
Right, right. Absolutely. I think it is absolutely wonderful. I want to add to that
Mhm.
if we're having a really, really, really bad day, we're really struggling, um, having a go-to joy,
Yes.
like I mean, it could have been family, it could have been my significant other, it could have been anything else, but person wise, but I picked basketball.
Yeah.
So, having a go-to joy that is completely 100% your own, that it doesn't rely on
Absolutely.
any other individuals. It might be music, it might be art, it might be, again, for me, it was basketball. And having that one go-to joy that if you're having such a bad day and you can't think of something that you're joyful for, that you can
Yeah.
always go to bag
Yes.
of tricks and
Whenever
pull out.
possible, literally doing something joyful. And again, if you see me stuck in traffic or driving out and sitting at a red light and you see me looking like I have Tourette's, I am just singing to some great anthem, either of the 80s or a girl anthem. I mean, if Pink comes on the radio, forget about it. I suddenly become a performer. But that brings me joy.
Right.
Brings me
Absolutely.
joy.
Absolutely.
And I'm not worried. I mean, what are they going to do? If I look ridiculous singing at a red light, I will look ridiculous. That's okay. I don't
Right.
care. I oftentimes, when I'm doing the dishes or cooking dinner, I will turn on music and kind of dance around. And my poor dog is like, "Are you okay?" But doing those small things. Yes, we all have great big things we love to do, right? Who doesn't love to go on vacation or play basketball? But
Right.
you don't have that
Right.
opportunity to do that every day.
Right.
So
Right.
finding those small joyful things and small joyful moments, it will reignite you, but we must be intentional about it. And that's the harder part, is to remember to do it. Sometimes you have to
Now,
put a sticky note up.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. What do you say to people who are just too afraid? Because you're helping people rediscover, reinvent, and reignite.
Yes.
And when you're sitting down with them and they're talking about things, how do you help them if they're too afraid? Because again, we're talking about goals this year, and and mental health. I mean, it's can be
Yeah.
scary to try to make
Yeah.
changes. That's all right. You can bring that pup right up in the picture. It wouldn't
We're
be
gonna
the
bring
first
her
time.
up. She just has to sit next to me, and she
That's
brings
all
me
right.
joy.
I can't see her, so you might have to hold her a little higher so we can say hello.
Oh no, she's fine as long as she's got her butt attached to my butt.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Listen,
if we
we've
can
had
bring her into
dogs, we've
frame.
had babies,
I don't know if I can get her into frame because
That's
of the
all
way I
right.
have the background set up. But if you're too afraid to do it, think about, are you afraid because you're with other people? Are you a little bit embarrassed? Because sometimes we are self-conscious, right? And we all have moments sometimes we're more self-conscious than others. Sometimes you have that day where you're like, you're the boss babe, right? And sometimes you
Right.
have those days where you're like, no, I'm completely a goof and I have no idea what I'm doing, right? So if you're having a day where you're so self-conscious and you don't want to do that with somebody, it's okay. Wait until you're somewhere else. And
Right.
even on your way home, don't close your eyes if you're driving.
Right. Good advice.
But take a moment and think about something you really, really love when you're alone for a minute, right? Or for me, like, go for that ice cream cone if you need to, right? That may be an artificial moment of joy, but it might give you that extra over the edge kind of, all right, I needed that little nudge. And that ice
Right.
cream cone was the nudge. And now I feel like I can try this again.
Right. I
I'm
can
gonna eat
conquer
my
the
ice
world.
cream. Right.
But I think too, sometimes because maybe like self-worth, self-esteem comes into play,
Oh
and
yeah.
I feel that people what they fear is failure.
We all do. Yes. We all fear failure. I think that we are all harder on ourselves than anybody else. I think I said that a little earlier.
Mhm.
We don't talk kindly to ourselves, pretending like you're talking to your best friend, or a better exercise. And I've seen a lot of people do this, and I love this exercise, is get a picture of yourself as a child. Tape it up to the mirror, and you tell that little tiny person, whether you're a girl or a boy, doesn't matter, what you're talking to yourself about. If you have the guts to do that, you're not going to talk mean to them. You're going to look at that
Right.
child and be like, you know what? I know you messed up. I know that was horribly embarrassing. I know that, that bothers you, or you made that mistake and you hurt that person's feelings, because we all make mistakes, right? But it's going to be okay. Look at yourself as a child, practice that. It's more powerful than I thought it would be.
Absolutely. I think that is a fabulous idea. Absolutely fabulous idea. Because you're right. I mean, you're not going to, be hard on your child self.
Yes, exactly.
And so, but I mean, really, when we think about what is failure exactly, I mean, it's a lesson. Like, I think we need to redefine failure, because just because something didn't work in that way, that doesn't mean it will never happen. And you might have to change directions of what you're doing. Like, failure is a lesson, and if we never fail, we never learn. And we never are able to fine tune things. If everything came to us perfect, I would get like young athletes, yes, like 5 and 6 year olds, or more like the 7-year-olds, the first time they're picking up a basketball, 7, 8, 9 years old, and they get frustrated because they expect to be able to do it. I'm like, honey, you didn't come out of the womb with a basketball. I mean, you have to learn, you have to enhance your skills. You have to practice all the time. Practice makes progress. And I feel that, I don't know why, with kids, especially these days, like they have such a fear of failure.
And, I love that. I love the practicing, because that is so important. And I'm going to share with you, I used to run a networking group. So it's not just kids, it is adults. We are all so afraid of failing. And one of the things I used to do, we used to have a coaching moment every we met twice a month. So every time we met, we would have a little coaching moment about whatever was the topic of the day. And one of the things that was constantly coming up is people would say, I am so afraid to talk to people about my business or about my job, because what if I fail at it? Or what if I don't explain it right? What if I make a fool out of myself? And one of the things that I can promise you is that you think about that conversation way more after it's over than that person ever will. That
Absolutely.
person is leaving and thinking, well, they were kind. They didn't think, well, they said this instead of that.
Right.
So, you think of you way more than the other people think of you.
Oh, absolutely. And
Way
like you
more.
said, we're so self-critical.
Yes.
I remember telling that to my kids, if I was hard on them with expectations. And I said, but what you don't hear is how critical I am of myself, or how, because it's all up in here when, when I'm, looking at like how I've done things or things that I need to do and how I haven't done it, and getting down on myself and what have you. But I've gotten a lot better at that, because again, failure is a lesson,
And it's
and
just feedback.
It is
neutral.
Yes. Failure is feedback. I like it. I don't even like the word failure.
Well, yeah, it's just feedback, and we should learn, and we don't learn that feedback is neutral. And I think that goes way back to, like, listen, we're going to talk about, elementary school and grades and whatnot. And, especially you and I think there may be a little bit better, but we were taught, oh my gosh, you don't want that on your permanent record because you got a D on your spelling test.
Right.
Just so, and I was a sensitive child. I'd be like, oh my God, I can't get a D on my spelling test. I studied my spelling words so hard every week. And now I love spelling, go figure. But the thing about it is, at some point in childhood, at some point along the way, we were given the message that feedback is negative. Unless we're like gloating over you and just fawning over you. If we give you any feedback, if somebody says, oh, you know what? That color might not be the best on you. Try this. This might look better because of your skin tone or whatever. It's just feedback. Who cares?
Right.
If
Right.
I like this color, I'm going to wear it. It doesn't matter. It's not hurting anything. It's
And I
feedback.
think words matter because you keep saying feedback, but what we would always hear was constructive criticism.
Correct. Yes.
So, I mean,
That word
that
criticism
doesn't sound very positive at all.
and constructive just means you're incomplete.
Right, right. So, I mean, it's not, I mean, it's not positive and it's not neutral.
At the conference, I was sitting next to one of the interns who is an amazing young woman working at the clinic, working out in the community, doing so much community outreach while she's working on her master's degree. And she said, well, and I said, absolutely not. You do not just. Look
Right.
at you. You are amazing. And I kind of gave her a little bit of what for. That is a really tough word to remove from our self-talk.
Right. Absolutely. And self-talk matters and we should practice it. I have the words, well, I did. I just erased them not too long ago because my son wrote Iron Man underneath it. You'll understand in a second. I had written in lipstick that I am on my mirror so that every morning I would have to like go in the bathroom and be like, I am a positive affirmation. And then jokingly, my son put Iron Man there underneath it, but it already been up there for a few years. So I needed
That
to.
is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with
It
being Iron Man.
is. But, so, I mean, I think, having that. So Angel is back with us and he said,
I love that.
can you see it? Okay. So you can see it. I used to tell
Yeah.
my kids to do the best that you can. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That is the best. I love that so much. So one of the things, Angel, my dad always told us growing up, because, and again, I'm going to say I was maybe a little more anxious and a little more sensitive than the other ones. But my dad used to say, I don't care if you want to be a ditch digger. As long as you're the best ditch digger that you could be, that's all. If that's what you want to be, because again, we place our own inner value benchmarking against the whole world. Come on. That is a ridiculous standard. It makes zero sense to do. And if I want to be a ditch digger, why can't I can dig the most beautiful creative ditches I want and call them koi ponds.
There you go.
Why not?
Absolutely.
I love when people take on creative things and then I can grab that up and say, hey, look at what they're doing that is unique and unusual. And it's bringing them joy. And it may or may not be bringing them income, but the income is sidebar. It doesn't matter. It brings you joy.
Right. So we just have like a few minutes. Okay. So I wanted to, two things real quick is who are the people that come to see you or like what circumstance? Like you know what I mean? Like who comes to see you? Like who utilizes your services? Who can you help the most?
Oftentimes it is, it's a split between right now. The last several clients I have been kind of a small startup businesses that are like, I'm really good at doing this, but I don't feel like a business owner. I got an LLC and I don't know what to do and I'm a mess. And so we work through it. And that's really an easy 90-day process from, yes, you've started a business. And I kind of teasingly say, it's like, they want to be a real boy. So I take them from Pinocchio to being a real boy.
Right.
And nonprofits, I work with nonprofits for doing things like with Lady Boss. Now that was a volunteer initiative, to be honest with you, but creating events that are fundraisers or redoing your fundraising structure, creating opportunity for people to give and support you, putting those systems in place to track donors and things like that. Because I always say I'm a recovering insurance agent. So I love to create systems, and nonprofit people are amazing, especially those small, scrappy nonprofits. They are running on heart, and they're out there doing the good work. They're saving the cats, they're saving the dogs, they're doing all the stuff, filling the book bags. But the admin end of it, it's such a challenge because their heart is out there in the field.
Right. Absolutely.
And so I can come in and help put some structure behind that and some easy systems and get them moving forward. In coaching, I do work with people whose lives have blown up. But usually lately it's been all businesses and nonprofits, which I love because I love a good spreadsheet, right?
Right. I was thinking that as you were talking, because I remember you saying that. I
Yes.
love a good spreadsheet. I love the look of a spreadsheet in the
You
morning.
know what? I'm not good at formulas, but I'm really good at making sure the tracking is done.
There you go.
And they are great for tracking and creating a form to fill out so that it populates the spreadsheet to get all that data. Oh, well, I made you fill out forms, didn't I? Oh,
yes.
And it's all on a spreadsheet now.
Oh no, I have a spreadsheet of that survey I created.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. I'm starting to love spreadsheets too.
I mean, they're great for a lot of things. So, I mean, it's a variety. The bottom line is I love to see people succeed. Then I feel like I've been a success. I say we are nothing but the echoes we leave behind. So I want to leave a lot of echoes.
Right. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, I am because we are.
Yes, I love that. That's great.
Ubuntu. Now, the last thing I wanted to touch on, your book,
which I have a copy here,
Miss
and
Melissa
my dog
has
is
a book
sitting on it.
Well, he was keeping it warm.
Yes, let me see if I can get it to the. Oh, how can we get this? There it is.
There, you just hold it in front of. Where did you go? Maybe you have to get closer.
I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job at this, am I?
Yeah.
Well, it is. I digress. Let's just move forward with technology. It is 50 and Fearless. There we go.
There you go.
Rediscover, Reinvent, and Reignite. It is on Amazon. If you're local, I do have some copies.
And we have your website up right now. Is it available through your website?
Yes. If you click on my website, you will find a link for the book.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I have another book that I wrote before this. And that is Level 50 or whatever it is. Because you get to that.
Is that the name of it? Level 50 or whatever it is?
Literally the name of it. Like, because you get there and you're like, what is this? What is this? Like, I did not sign up for this.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So that's my first book. And then this is the second one, 50 and Fearless, Rediscover, Reinvent, and Reignite. So I put some systems behind the theories there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's a fabulous read for anyone in their 50s or not.
Yes.
If you're
actually have fans from their 20s on, and it's crazy.
Sure. Well, I mean, because, we can reinvent ourselves. I still say I don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
Because I personally feel being stagnant is like knocking on death's door.
True.
If we're not living, we're dying. So get busy living or get busy dying. What movie's that from?
Oh my goodness. That is Red from the Green. Is it not the Green Mile?
No, you're right. You were saying it right, but it's not the Green Mile. It's Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank. That's right.
Yeah, but it was red. You're right.
Red.
It was red. Yep. Get busy living or get busy dying.
Red was here.
Good job.
Woo.
All right. But so can we put Melissa's website back up on the screen here real quick? Because we're gonna fade to black.
Fade to black.
There we go. So it's super simple. CoachMelissaMoore.com.
Super simple.
Doesn't get any easier than that.
Doesn't.
Miss Melissa, it has been a pleasure.
Hope,
I
thank
encourage
you so much
everyone.
for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I encourage everyone to get your book.
Thank you.
Because if you think about it, I mean, that's something that we do on a regular basis, rediscovering, reinventing, and reigniting.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Sometimes we need that reminder, which is right there. Could be that book.
Yes. 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 Oh,
So,
thank you.
yes, thank you. So please let us know when you're having your next adventure. I know that we have another topic that we're going to have you back on.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, and so I look forward to doing that with you as well.
I look forward to it too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Melissa. Thank you so much. I wish you the best in everything that you do. You're an amazing person. Continued success. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Wait, was it? What was it? I don't remember.
Like this.
Yes. Inside joke, right?
Yes.
That's from the conference that we ended together. So thank you again, Melissa, and everyone out there. I know you've been watching some pre-recorded, so thank you for tuning in to Mental Health Mondays. My name is Hope, and I hope everyone is having a great week. And remember, what is your joy? What is your joy? Take a minute. And thank you, Angel. Take a minute and think of your joy and live your joy and release those joy hormones in your brain. So thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next week on Mental Health Mondays with Hope. Have a great week.